Hey y'all, what's up? It is Spicy AF and I'm back with another spicy topic. Help support me on this channel by liking this video. Also, follow me on X, it's Spicy AF, and at SpiceTSpill on Instagram. Here's my picture. Subscribe and share. Young Miami, also known as Caresha Please, is doing everything she can to distance herself from the caving walls of what we know as Diddy's palace. Young Miami is being implicated in the sex trafficking case that Diddy has and the drug trafficking case, where she is said to have taken drugs from one state to another, which is federal. And she's also being named in a second lawsuit by a Jane Doe, who we believe is Gina, one of the chicks or the women that Diddy was dealing with before this all blew up in his face. These two, Young Miami and Gina, was arguing on social media. That's how we can see who's in this lawsuit. So it ain't no need for the Jane Doe for most of us, because they was doing this out here on a public platform so we can depict who she is. I do have some little issues with a lot of these women that's coming out. A lot of these women do what they keep continuously doing. They find themselves in this situation where they feel that they've been SA'd, and then they do not leave. They don't go to the police to get a APE kit. They don't go to the police to press charges. What they do is continue in this relationship for a number of years and experience more abuse. Not all of them, but some of them, we'll say. More abuse. And we don't know until that lawsuit comes out, when that lawyer puts a timeline out. And that's exactly what I'm seeing in this particular case. That doesn't take away from the wrongdoing. It's just that I have to mention that, because if you feel as though you're being SA'd, don't stay in a relationship. Don't stay. Pick yourself up and stay away. Because in this particular case, when we talk about this Jane Doe, when we read into some of her lawsuit, you will wonder why it took you 2 to 4 years for you to say enough is enough, especially when she lines out the details of what happened to her. But Young Miami, you are in it too, sis. Young Miami is airing her show, Caresha Please. She's doing a whole visual. She's doing a live showcase where she has a studio audience. She has been doing heavy on the promo, building her platform. It makes you think, is this because of the case? Is it because she knows that her doomsday is coming as well, and she needs to get her bills up, get her money up? Is this the reason? I feel that she's trying to distance herself from the situation and put some type of blindfolds over us. Same Young Miami who was dragging this lady on social media, who was another woman like you. The woman is just like you. The problem is the man. That man, Diddy. He's the issue. Instead of you dragging him, tearing him down, screaming at him, you screaming at Gina. Your battle and beef is with the other woman because you tried to bully her off, as women do. You tried to bully the other woman away because you don't want to woman up and leave a dog. Okay? You don't want to leave a dog. You want to stay with him. You want to continue to get the money, the funds, the gifts, the trips. She knew she was stuck in a terrible situation. She knew the thing she did was wrong. You got 2 kids now, and now you named in this indictment and a couple of these lawsuits so far. Lil Rod, and now this Jane Doe gets to name Caresha Brownlee. They get to name her because she participated in these criminal activities. And you cannot run for too long. You cannot put enough visuals out there, make them look pretty and bright and colorful. You can't interview enough celebrities to change people's perception of the reality. It's not going to happen. And if the feds continue to do their job, they won't fall for the fluff. Because it's not right. It's not right to tear other women down who understands, you understand more than anybody, that other woman. You're both being used. You're both being targeted. You're both being drugged and aped. So pretty much sure that Young Miami also experienced some of these things, even though she's very tight-lipped. She should be, because she's named as the assailant. She's named as the perpetrator in a lot of these cases. So the best thing she can do is pretend nothing's happening, but take care of her business behind the scenes. She's being accused of pressuring a woman to have an abortion, woman that got pregnant by Diddy. And again, Gina was the woman that we heard about on Tasha K's show. We heard her interview. The woman tells us Diddy was hitting her. Young Miami was pressuring her to get an abortion. Take a look. 5 years ago, Gina Huynh interviewed with Tasha K. She talked about Diddy essaying her, potentially spiking her drink when she went to the bathroom, feeling woozy. She also spoke about falling asleep, waking up, and having bruises on her. She talked about having an abortion that Diddy made her get. What I find suspicious and questionable is why she never brought up Young Miami during that time. I can speculate maybe she was afraid of Young Miami. Was she threatened? Did Diddy intimidate her? Where it was very apparent during her interview with Tasha K that she was in love with Diddy. That means she was under his influence, and that means he was superior to her, and he would have had more control over what she said and what she would have done. Did Diddy make Young Miami more of a priority than Gina? Because that would explain to me why she never brought up Young Miami 5 years ago on that interview, because she was trying to please the man she loved. And if he was telling her not to bring up Young Miami, and it makes sense why he wouldn't want her brought up, because we find out 5 years later that Young Miami is in a Lil Rod lawsuit being accused of trafficking drugs from state to state, also being a sex worker. So why would Diddy not want to protect his protege? Another thing, this young lady left the relationship and went back to Diddy. She talked about how he wasn't treating her like he loved her, but she loved him. So I can imagine her seeing Cassie interacting with Young Miami when Young Miami came in the picture. There's other women that he prioritized over her, and she may have felt very inferior to him and still more captive to him, because that's what happens when there's a one-sided love situation. You feel more controlled, like somebody else has the upper hand and the power over you, and you will be more so the one that does what they say. And if Diddy told her, don't bring up Young Miami, I understand why he would, but it's just questionable because she never gave us that conclusion. We can only speculate that. During the interview, one of the things Tasha K said in an update of Gina, it was still 5 years ago, was that Gina had got a lawyer, Gloria Allred, who is also representing Thalia Graves. She got Gloria at that time, and she was going to sue him 5 years ago, but ended up not suing because Diddy had gotten touch with her. I think he saw the interview and he tried to shut her up because he wasn't exposed at this time. So she ended up letting Gloria go and did not pursue any kind of money or lawsuit at that time. And so now I would assume that Gloria is representing her, because she does have this lawsuit where now she is naming Young Miami. But let me tell you what Tasha K's update was that Diddy reached out to Gina to work for him. He would pay her a $5,000 a month stipend, and there was a letter that Tasha K had posted up, and I will post that letter, that Diddy sent to Gina. This was a job of a marketing type of job. Really, I think that was a way to clean the money. I think that he was paying her to do the same thing Young Miami, same thing Jade was accused of being doing, same thing a lot of these girls that were called, and men, sex workers that were around, and possibly transport drugs or work for his trafficking, business. So this is my thoughts. I think that's what he was really trying to get her to do. Remember, you're dealing with a girl that wanted a true relationship with Diddy. I don't think she wanted to be his sex worker. I think a lot of her steam for going and filing this lawsuit is, for one, she ain't getting paid no more because he's in jail, and two, is because he's in jail and she's not afraid anymore. So this brings me to my next point, is what I feel. Some of these women are legit. They got caught up in the game, caught up in a situation, and they were drugged. They were taken advantage of in SA. There's other women who saw Diddy as a payday, a pay loan, a pay check, and they wanted him because he had money. And that's just what I think. I think if you look at these women's Instagram, a lot of them dress like sex workers. They that's how they carry themselves. So it makes me feel that a lot of women around these men with money, they just want their money. And so when it's time for Diddy to face justice and face what he has done to these women, now is the right time for them to Me Too the moment. That's how I feel. I feel that some of them do that. Now, Young Miami is again named, and what I'm thinking about her is she might get immunity. They might give her, because we haven't heard anything about her lawsuit, any criminal charges, and the things she's done were criminal. Carrying drugs from state to state. She's accused of that, carrying them from state to state, that's federal, and also being a sex worker. So that's a part of the sex trafficking case. She never victimized herself. In fact, she says she wasn't a victim when she did an interview with her friend Santana on her show, Caresha Please. She never made herself out to be a victim. So if she's not a victim, but she is accused of criminal activity, why aren't we hearing about an indictment for her? Is she getting immunity? Have they given her that so that she can be a witness and testify against Diddy? That's something we need to stay tuned for, because that's what I believe is coming.
Y'all notice how JT just disappeared? Where you at, sis? JT came out with a banging album, brought us back to the 90s, reminded us what real rap was like, gave us refreshed, I'll say, and now she's gone. Where you at, girl? Now look, if you need to fall back because of this mess, girl, fall back, because you might be doing the right thing, because that's just messy. But I just wonder, where's JT? JT distanced herself from this. We don't always know what happens when it's happening. We didn't know what really happened. We brought our conclusions to what we thought. Why JT and Young Miami was no longer in a friendship. Why they were no longer a group. But it's kind of clear now. It's coming out. It's being painted out for us. The story is being written as we go. And it's clear to see that she wanted to be clear of this. Was she also at some of these parties and wasn't down with it and left? Like, I'm not saying that JT had anything to do with it, like as far as she's a perpetrator. No, I might say that she was invited and recruited, because that's what these chicks are known to do, is recruit other women to get them stuffed and stuck on drugs and messed up too, like them. And I can't stand these types. But I'm saying that she could have very well been invited and saw some things and said, I don't even know you no more. And I don't want to be associated with you. Because if you notice, go back and listen to JT's story. JT started distancing herself. Go listen to the first interview Caresha did when she first came back on her show after this Diddy stuff went on with Santana. When she actually did talk to JT. She said that, I think it was Caresha who put it out there, that JT had her own hairdresser or whatever, had her own dressing room, would get in her own car. Maybe she didn't trust you because she was invited to that trash and she didn't like it, and she did the right thing. She did the right thing if that's the case. To separate herself, it's not worth it. Look at the mess that Young Miami is in now. She is now in a mess that she is trying to run from, as far as my opinion can give. Because what you're doing all this promo for your show and visuals for this show, and you want this new outlook. You want to keep going and act like this never happened. You want to keep going and get the royalty from what you got from Diddy and keep growing from it. But you cannot grow out of a dirty seed, and the seed y'all coming from is dirt. It's already the seed is being indicted, drugged. So we don't know the whole story yet. How much role did Young Miami play in this girl Gina's life? Was she a part of? Do they have her on videos coercing this girl, beating her up while she was asleep? She says she got bruises. This obviously was her enemy.
Young Miami obviously was this girl enemy as far as we seen on social media. We saw Young Miami talk to this girl talking about Diddy will make you do this and that. And you wanted a baby. So Young Miami was talking wild. She was talking big talk. Big trash. Back then, before Diddy was indicted, and when she had all she had, the glitz and glam, big trash talk. Oh yeah? So where that mouth at now, sis? Where's that mouth at now? Y'all, let me know what you think. Leave a comment. Hit that thumbs up. Like this video. Subscribe. Stay tuned, because we got more to come.